are Team 8838B, the RoboHawks.
And this is our video for the Create US Open.
Hello, I'm Anti, I'm in 7th grade, and I'm a programmer and work in research and development.
Hello, my name is Kai, and I'm in 7th grade. I am the builder and driver for this robot.
Hi, I'm Alyssa, and I'm an 8th grader. I am the team lead and the main programmer of this robot.
Hello, I'm Cheyenne, I'm an 8th grader, and I am the PR and notebook manager for this team.
Building a robot that is both powerful, consistent, and reliable is not an easy task. We had many challenges that we faced, and we believe one that really stood out was improving our lift. Our lift was originally only 4 motors which are all set to high speed. We believe this gear ratio would be good because it was a 1:5 gear ratio, making it very powerful, and the high-speed motors would make it very efficient. However, when going to competitions, we found that our lift would burn out repeatedly and we could not maximize our playing time. After coming back, we did extensive research and we found that many teams who had our design used 2 motors on their lift, 2 more motors on their lift, and took them off of the chassis. This would be kind of hard because taking 2 motors off of our 6-motor chassis will make the chassis slower. However, after discussing the pros and cons of each side, we decided to add the 2 motors onto the lift because it would provide a very stable lift, which was more efficient and would not burn out in matches. We also did extensive research on the rubber banding. As you can see here, the rubber banding, it looks like it's strained, but as you go up, it seems to come closer and closer until at a certain point, it just goes back by itself. This is good because it means that it takes strain off the motors while lifting things so they don't have to work as hard. An example of this is it can hold a cube midway without the motors even working. This provides easier driving and easier strain for the motors. We also have a power expander where we can split the lifts on 2 batteries. This is good because then we can pray 1.5 times longer than just plugging it into the regular Cortex. And now I'll hand it over to Kai to talk more about the robot.
Thank you. Among the various strengths of our robot, we are most proud of our dual intake system. What we mean by a dual intake system is that it is both a claw and a fork. Our fork is comprised of standoffs, which provide very good grip on cubes and help lift them over the fence. It is also very lightweight. Our claw is a pneumatic claw, which uses air to close and uses rubber bands to open. This provides very minimal air loss since we use rubber bands to open instead of air. This means we can get around 50 actuations, meaning we could throw over a cube around 50 times before our air runs out. We also have an extensive use of sensors. As you can see, on our chassis, we have encoders, which basically tell the rotations of our autonomous. This is very useful, so that even if our battery is low, we will still travel to the same point on the field. Also, we have a potentiometer attached to the lift. This basically measures angles, so that if we reach a certain angle, our claw will automatically open, which means that most of the time, game objects will most likely be scored in the far zone. Lastly, we have a gyro on the bottom of our robot. What a gyro does is it measures turning and turning angle, which means that we'll always end up at the same position. Even if a gaming object is blocking our turning pathway, it will continue to turn until it reaches its point. We also have a very sophisticated bumper system. It slides in to be within the 18 by 18 limit at the start of a match, and then we rubber band it to a gear under our wheel. When our chassis moves forward, the rubber band shoots out. Also, in the front, we have a less advanced and more simple bumper system. All it does is so when we're picking up heavy gaming objects, it prevents our robot from tipping forward.
As you can see, we've taken every aspect of our robot into careful consideration. But if there's one thing we would like to improve, we would definitely love for our robot to hang. In fact, we did consider this in our design process. By adding a piston tension release right here to release the tension of the rubber bands on our lift, we would enable our robot to hang. But it turned out that our back bumpers got in the way of our robot when it backed up against the fence. So after weighing the pros and cons, we decided to keep our current bumpers and not hang. However, we would be really interested if we could find a way to hang without changing our current bumper.
As this is our first year in robotics, we want to leave our digital footprint on for the next generations of VEX. At the Barnes & Noble's Maker Faire and at the Dino Dash, two fundraisers that happen near our district, we decided to show the next generation of VEX students what VEX is like and what they can do. We also went to a VEX IQ match and were referees and judges. We told the VEX IQ kids what they can expect from VEX, how to work in teams, and we really wanted to focus on showing the next generation and leaving our footprint as the first year and pioneers on the subject, what VEX is like and what they can do.
At this point, we've talked a lot about our robot, so I'd like to summarize with the following points. First, the mechanical design of our robot is made to complete all Starstruck tasks precisely and effectively. Second, our robot is embedded with very advanced programming. Extensive use of sensors such as the potentiometer, shaft encoder, and gyro sensor allows our robot to function its very best in robot skills. We are the robot skills champion in our state championships. Among all the middle schools in the world, we are ranked in the top 30, and in a moment you'll be able to see our robot in action. It's been a long journey for us to be able to stand in front of you and show you our robot, which is powerful, precise, effective, and very driver-friendly. In the past few months, we've spent many long practicing hours, sleepless nights, and ups and downs during competitions, and all that work paid off when we won the highest award, the Excellence Award, in our state championships. We also like to work together as a team to solve problems and improve the work of our robot. And now you'll be able to see our robot in action.
Right, so as you see here, our very powerful lift is able to lift 7 solids and throw them all to the far zone. It can also grip 2 cubes and throw them to pretty far places in the field. And it can also grip many other game pieces.
We've documented all of these advancements in our notebook. Our first page is a problem statement where we wrote down a problem and possible solutions. Our next is our brainstorms, which we described what early models could be or some just ideas writing down which would help us in the future. Then comes the 3D models. These 3D models are our brainstorms, but in an easily formatted and easily to be seen models. Then comes our first tournament, which was Oak Park. And this was an all-middle school tournament, and we realized that our claw had a major problem. We could not have a claw using a motor. We had to use pneumatics. So here's our design matrix on the first ideas for pneumatics. Then come another idea. Why not use a power expander? We used our power expander to simply cut our robot in half, giving one half one battery, the other half the other battery to make it work faster and stronger and longer. Then came our district tournament where we didn't do as well yet again to our claw. Now the problem here is our pneumatics. We're using way too much air and we had to reserve some. Again, through the design matrix, we found a way to fix this problem, and we're here where we are today. Now, to many, this might seem like a cortex, some wires, some pneumatics, and junk. But to us, it's a story about tears, joy, and happiness.
We hope you enjoyed our story.
We look forward to being interviewed by you at the US Open Tournament.
See you in Iowa!